The scary part of the BBL. I lost too much blood and coded twice, then ended up in the ICU for 6 days. My surgeon's team sent me out without waking up in recovery, then blocked my number when I wanted to know what happened. But God.
You can say, oh, true beauty comes from within. But try walking around with a distorted face and having to live it. I look in the mirror and I think, wow, big difference. I felt like a monster, I really did. A sideshow circus clown.
Raji Nareen Singh is one of the world's best-known victims of black market cosmetic surgery. Unhappy with her looks, the transgender activist visited a fake doctor who pumped her face, breasts, hips and buttocks full of a toxic solution which hardened under her skin. But now, after extensive surgery to remove the concrete-like substance, her face has been transformed.
I'm ready for the world. I don't know if the world's ready for me. Oh my God, look at my face. I mean, really, look at it. Don't I look younger? Come on, you have to admit it. And look at my smile. You actually see my teeth now. See, before, when I smiled, my lip didn't lift. Now when I smile, you see teeth. I think it's definitely been worth it. I always have had a core belief that one's beauty is from within, and not wanting to sound cliche, but that is the truth. A person's true beauty is from within. But we live in a world that is very superficial, and people look at the way you look.
Dr. John Martin has treated Raji for several years and is now seeing the results of her latest surgery.
Good.
Good to see you. You look wonderful.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Everything going well?
Yeah, good, yeah.
The first time I saw Raji to now, there's been an enormous improvement because she really had these very large nodules on her cheek that were just sticking out, and they were very distinct large nodules so that you could really see them. Now she has a few little nodules, but you can't really see them, so the whole appearance of her face is just much softer and smoother and just not nearly as deformed as it had been. Much
flatter,
my
face is like out to here, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
You're talking about the mountains that you had that were really just all like concrete in there.
A combination of ultrasound treatments and anti-inflammatory injections allowed Raji to eventually have some of the substance removed from her face.
All of those years of your treatments got it to the consistency of like a tire, and they said that was perfect because it wasn't too soft, but it wasn't too hard.
She recently underwent an intense...
It was on the black market, but I went to a person that was well known in my music circle. He was not a doctor. He does this in a hotel room. He told us that it was gel, some type of gel or whatever, when it was actually free-floating silicone in your body. So I didn't have any real symptoms until like 5-6 years later. I started to look like an ant, and one morning I woke up and my legs gave out.
Really?
Just out of the blue. I just woke up and fell.
A few facts that patients wish they would have known before they've had liposuction, or what y'all call liposuction and a BBL, is that liposuction is really a temporary fat buster. It's not permanent. It is not permanent. One, you've never learned to eat right. You thought that spending $5,000 to $10,000 on removing fat was going to fix your long-term history of overeating. One thing doesn't have anything to do with the other. Liposuction was just a method to remove some of that fat to debulk you. But in no shape, form, or how was it going to be able to control your bad eating habits that you've gained year after year. Liposuction is a gift and a curse. Yes, while it does give you a better shape, it takes fat away in areas that, one, you probably would not have lost the way you wanted to lose in those areas. Two, it targets fat. But the other thing is, now it makes you bulkier in areas that you didn't have fat before. Some of you guys grow extra breasts. Some of you get it under the arms. Some of you get heavier on the back. Some of you get the gift part and your butt grow a little because you guys keep eating. You keep eating the same bad things you was eating before. I understand for those of you guys who have had a BBL, they tell you, feed the fat. We don't feed the fat like that, you guys. Fried chicken, hamburgers. Already you have not learned how to eat good or better. And then you mean to tell me you gonna eat worse after surgery? Guess what? You're gonna lose those results. And a butt is just not having an ass, waist to hip. I always tell my patients, your butt is your stomach as well. So the bigger your stomach is, the smaller your butt is. The bigger your waist is, the smaller your butt is. The bigger your back is, the smaller your butt is. You guys have to control what goes in your mouth. There is no amount of money that you can spend on your body that is going to stop you from regaining that weight back. And I know people say once you've had liposuction, you don't regain weight in those same particular areas. You don't initially, but you eventually will. Once that back get enough fat and the arms start to grow, now the fat has no choice but to retarget and regrow on the areas that was already primarily taken away. So that's why you girls keep trying to go back and lay on the table versus maintaining your results, because initially you go into it thinking you've had liposuction and it is a fix all, catch all, be all, and this is the rest of your life. You have a long time to go in that body. So the best way to do it is to maintain your results from your initial surgery. And if you're bigger or you think that your surgeon did not liposuction enough, don't mentally block out your first surgery, because your second surgery should not be your first surgery. Some of y'all are going to miss that. So when you have your second surgery, if you choose to, because you want to remove more fat, your surgeon shouldn't be removing what you've already taken away in the first round of surgery. Second surgery should actually be a cleanup job, not an initial job. That's why some of you guys, or a lot of you guys, are having such troubles when it's coming to having all of these multiple rounds of liposuction. Is that liposuction does not fix your bad habits of eating. The money you spend will not change your eating habit, and your eating habit will not change, not unless you change your eating habit and you are regaining fat back in those spots, because most of you guys are still overeating between the first 90 days of your surgery. So of course it's gonna look like your surgeon didn't do his job. And the people who are around you, you know, the number one thing they saying is, she don't want to spend all that money on surgery and she don't even look like she had nothing done. That's because she ate her results back. You gotta stop eating.
How? What happened? This is high def gone wrong. So, high def liposuction is when you're sculpting the fat underneath the skin so that you really kind of mimic the muscles that are underneath. And when done right, it's a beautiful way of accentuating what your natural anatomy is. But when people do it way too dramatically, meaning they just suck the hell out of the fat right along, let's say these are vertical athletic lines, but then leave a ton of fat everywhere else, it can be problematic. So how? She's the perfect example, because what happened is she had a super dramatic high def procedure where they sucked out everything in the vertical lines and probably left a lot of fat. And unfortunately, it looks like she may have gained a little weight since her procedure, and the fat that she gained is in exactly those areas that were left in the high def lipo procedure, and she has no more fat cells along those vertical lines. So it looks like she's got two sausages along the front of her abdomen, and it doesn't look really good. So I think a really important lesson is for us surgeons, when you do this procedure, you need to anticipate the changes that occur in people's lives.
One of the extreme cases of plastic surgery, I'm pretty sure this is not natural, and that she either got fat injections or silicone injected into her buttocks and thighs. Many people wondered if it's painful, is she's having a hard time living her everyday life, and I guess we would never know. But injecting this amount of fat or liquid silicone is not only problematic in the aesthetic part, but brain fog, fatigue, discomfort, migration are just some of the symptoms that may happen later in the years.
In August, I did surgery and I removed 95% of my bioperimeters. If you know what bioperimeters is ass shots. And it was a really crazy process.
Taking some of these ass shots out
And by the way, ass shots and a BBL is totally different. And I'm going to tell you why. A BBL is when they use your own fat. Ass shots is silicone. So I just want all the ladies out there to know, do not get silicone shots because you can get sick, you can die, have complications, and all this other crazy stuff.
Your body will reject anything that's not supposed to be in there. And you don't realize that until you have something that's not supposed to.
I'm glad that somebody is speaking the truth about plastic surgery because this app really glamorizes getting a BBL. Just like what she says, sometimes your body would naturally reject things that are not supposed to be in there. So when you're putting your fat, even if it's your own fat, from one place to another, BBL is a surgery that is extremely dangerous. People make it seem like it's so easy to get a BBL, but just so you know, BBL actually has the highest death rate. And there were actually Instagram models that passed away because of getting too much plastic surgeries done. On top of that, because of the high demand of BBL and how much money that people or physicians can make, there are a lot of unlicensed or not certified doctors that would perform the surgery. So really do your research before going into doing this.
Please like and subscribe. For real, subscribe.